Bandits released 7 more kidnapped Abuja-Kaduna train passengers. Father-son drowned in well as flood rendered many homeless in Kano State. National Emergency Management Agency receives 13 Jigawa Kano returnees from Sudan. And on the foreign scene, vote counting underway in closely contested Kenyan elections. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. 7 more kidnapped passengers of the March 28 train attack in Kaduna State have regained freedom. The victims were released Wednesday morning after spending 135 days in the custody of the terrorists. It is, however, not clear if any ransom was paid for the terrorists for their release. In a statement on Wednesday, Kaduna-based publisher Tukur Mamur, who negotiated the release of some of the passengers, said the victims were released after the intervention of Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. 6 of the released hostages are members of the same family, which include a couple and their 4 children, who were released alongside a 60-year-old woman. Speaking to newsmen, one of the victims appealed for government intervention to secure the release of the remaining victims.
People are still out there with their families in the bush. They are left behind in terrifying condition with no food and water. I can give you their names. We are begging and asking for their rescue. We are seeking for forgiveness.
So far, 42 victims have regained their freedom while 35 are still in captivity. A 60-year-old man identified as Malam Bala and his son Sunusi Bala, 35, have died in a well at Sabangaram Bauchi in Wudil local government area of Kano State while draining water from the well. The public relations officer of the State Fire Service, Saminu Abdullahi, who confirmed the incident in a statement on Wednesday, said the tragedy occurred on Tuesday morning. Abdullahi said they had received an emergency call from Wudil Fire Station at about 11:30 a.m. from one Ismaila Idris that 2 men had been trapped inside a well, and they immediately dispatched a rescue team to the scene. The statement noted that the victims were brought out of the well unconscious and later confirmed dead. It added that their corpses were handed over to Inspector Felix Gowak of Wudil Model Police Station. He attributed the cause of the incident to lack of oxygen. Flood has rendered many homeless in Dawakin Kudu, local government area of Kano State. More than 60,000 people have been displaced by flood in the state. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports from one of the villages that experienced the devastating effect of the flood.
Well, this is one of the hundreds and thousands of houses located around this area that were destroyed by floods and windstorm. Now, according to these people, these houses, there are a total of 8 rooms. All those rooms have been destroyed by the flood, and the owner told us that he has nowhere to sleep. What he does is that his family will come here in the morning, they will cook and do whatever they want to do, and then in the night they will go out. There is a small mosque here. That's where they used to sleep. And this is what's happening with most of the villages around this community. Most of their houses have been destroyed. And we visited another house around here. 15 rooms have also been destroyed by the flood and windstorm. So you can see most of their properties outside. They have nowhere to keep them. They're just keeping them outside. These are other properties of the people. They're just keeping them outside. They have nowhere else to go. They said some couple of people were injured during the flood, and now they are just waiting for government to come to their aid. They don't know when that will happen, but they are still waiting for government to come and assist them. Remember the last time I spoke with the Executive Secretary of Kano State's Emergency Management Agency, he told me that a total of 6,417 people were displaced by the floods and windstorm across Kano State, and that over 500 million naira was lost as a result of floods in Kano State. And mark you, these are only the recorded cases. There are those who have not reported to the authorities. They are somewhere and they are scattered across many parts of Kano State. Now, people here say with their personal effort, they have done personal effort to see how they can be able to prevent the flood from entering their houses, but it's overpowered them and eventually destroys all they have. So at the moment, these people are asking on government to come to their aid, to provide whatever types of assistance they can get, because at the moment they are trying to repair what remains of their homes so that they can be able to put their family together.
The coordinator of the Kano Territorial Office of the National Emergency Management Agency, Nuruddin Abdullahi, has said that the agency received 13 Nigerians from Sudan. The returnees arrived at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport Tuesday aboard an Ethiopian airline aircraft. Abdullahi noted that the returnees were brought back through the International Organization for Migration Initiative on Migrants Protection and Reintegration and European Union under the Assisted Voluntary Returnees Program. The returnees included 5 female adults and 8 children, comprising 3 female and 5 male from Jigawa and Kano states. The returnees were given food, toiletries, blankets, mosquito nets, Pampers and clothes each. Troops of Operation Hatin Kai have arrested 7 Boko Haram logistics suppliers and kidnappers in the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. According to reports, the suspects were arrested along the Maiduguri-Mafa axis on Tuesday. Security sources say the troops became suspicious when a large quantity of gari concealed in gallons and hidden beneath the vehicles was discovered. He added that the troops also rescued 5 kidnapped people and recovered 1 burnt truck. Pioneer Non-Interest Bank and a leading financial service provider, Jaiz Bank, is seeking sustained partnership with Media Trust Group towards growing its business frontiers. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the bank, Hassan Usman, led top management staff of the bank on a courtesy visit to the media outfit. Musa Luka reports.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Hassan Usman, said the courtesy visit was aimed at solidifying the relationship between the two institutions and to congratulate the management on their new appointment. He expressed satisfaction on the job of Media Trust in doing, especially being the eyes, voice, and the ears of the people.
From Jaiz, you have a partner, an institution that you also help to create, even if not as actively as you have created the Daily Trust TV, but also a contribution that we cherish in Jaiz. We also cherish your continuous patronage, because Daily Trust is one of our valued customers, as not just a shareholder, but a valued customer that patronizes the organization on a very continuous basis.
Usman also explained that the bank is dedicated toward financing some major sectors in the country that can boost the economy of the nation.
We've been financing many sectors, including housing, delivery, agriculture, commerce, and manufacturing, sectors that are very, very important to the growth of the economy.
Mr. Hassan spoke on the bank's 10th anniversary, their journey as non-interest bank in Nigeria, and how it has contributed positively to the financial growth in the economy. Receiving the delegation, the management of Media Trust, led by the Group Chief Executive Officer Munir Gwarzo, appreciated Jaiz Bank for their visit and their services to the company, and assures the bank that Trust Media has strategized to satisfy the demands of their customers.
Even within the company, within the management, we have done some restructuring. Some strategic departments have been created to sharpen our service delivery. And that's why you see us now having a new logo, and very soon we're going to be having a lot of adverts. We want to continue to be partners with you, and we want to play a very important role in your anniversary.
The group chief executive officer assures the bank of the company's full support and hope to work closely with the bank toward improving the economy. Musa Luka, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Director General of the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Organization, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, has said that he remains a staunch Catholic despite his decision to accept to lead the Muslim presidential ticket campaign. The governor said this Wednesday while fielding questions from State House reporters after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said that as a born, baptized and confirmed Catholic who has the highest award from the papacy, Knight of St. Gregory the Great, the Pope has not told him that it is wrong for him to lead the Muslim presidential campaign team. The governor, who flayed some Christian leaders asking him to reject the appointment because of the condemnations that trailed the APC Muslim ticket, said the selection was strictly a party affair and had nothing to do with religion.
Good afternoon, my brothers, members of the press. Well, I'm here this afternoon, I will always say in dual capacity, on behalf of the good people of Plateau State, and of course, now with the added responsibility as the chairman of the Director General of the campaign, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu stroke Kashim's campaign. The last time we were here was the endorsement by Mr. President. I was taken to Mr. President to be endorsed, and we came here straight. This time, in the last 1 week, I was also running to do some reappraisals, and part of it is always as the chairman of the campaign council. President is chairman of the campaign council. I will also come regularly to brief him on certain things that are going on, certain things that we are planning. The other aspect of my visit to Mr. President is also to come and show him appreciation in the last few months, what he has done in Plateau State. In the last few months, we just even a week or two, we just got approval making University of Jos as a cancer center. I saw over 3-point-something billion approved and a special center for cancer. So it's not a small achievement. We had in the last few months, the president approved the establishment of an orthopedic center, orthopedic hospital, the only one in the North Central, and he approved Plateau State. He also approved the establishment of a federal medical center in Wase.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Mitigating threats to human security. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that bandits released 7 more kidnapped Abuja-Kaduna train passengers. We also heard that father's son drowned in well as flood render many homeless in Kano. Moving on to more news, the Nigerian Copyright Commission and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have renewed their partnership in the fight against organized crime, including drug trafficking and copyright piracy. Chairman and Chief Executive of NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, and Director General of the NCC, John O. Asian, disclosed this during a visit to the NCC management to the NDLEA headquarters in Abuja. The chief executives noted that drug trafficking and copyright piracy were inimical to national development. They expressed concern that criminal activities adversely affect the youths in particular and destroy the country's creative resource. Marwa further stressed that they are collaborating because the drugs court and piracy both require collaborative efforts. The National Orientation Agency has assured of partnership with the National Center for the Coordination of Early Warning and Response Mechanism to address issues related to threats to human security in West Africa. The partnership is sequel to the signing of Executive Order 12 by President Muhammadu Buhari, which established the center pursuant to Article 58 of the Treaty of the Economic Community of West African States and Article 16 of the Protocol on the mechanism related to conflict prevention, management, resolution, peacekeeping, and security. The report.
The early warning system is to provide real-time information on incidents likely to affect social peace, security, political events, and climate change in the West African region to strengthen the ECOWAS strategy for information sharing among member states.
In dealing with the various challenges confronting our country, we must mobilize every aspect of national power, both kinetic and non-kinetic resources. And the NOA is the tip of the spear when it comes to dealing with issues relating to national orientation, behavioral change, public enlightenment, and mass mobilization.
The National Orientation Agency assured that the partnership is geared towards enlightening the public on the approach to security issues in Nigeria. The NOA urged the center to leverage on the agency's staff strength spread across the 774 local government areas as desk officers for the National Coordination Center.
And so I believe strongly that this partnership is going to work because it's intended for the general good, and if that is what you have in mind and that's what our mandate is, then I can't see us losing neither your commission or the National Orientation Agency.
Security threats confronting Nigeria and the rest of West Africa have become more violent, cross-border by nature, and spreading faster. This, analysts say, calls for the need for an effective sub-regional collaboration on early warning systems. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Muhammad Fada, has urged the Corps members to sustain the script of patriotism, hard work and resilience that they imbibe during the orientation course. The DG stated this at the closing ceremony of Batch B Stream 2 orientation course in Kaduna. The report.
The DG, who was represented by the Kaduna State NYC Coordinator Abel Oche at the closing ceremony of Batch B Stream 2 orientation course in Kaduna, said the orientation will help them inculcate the virtues of hard work and dedication to national and personal duties.
As you pick your letters of posting to your places of primary assignment, I wish you well, and I want to advise that you conduct yourself and take your service seriously. As you go to your community, identify with the challenges of the community and find a way of adding or changing or contributing your own quota to the development of the state.
The governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, who was represented by his deputy Hadiza Balarabe, said the 2023 election requires the service of Corps members, admonished them not to engage in any act that is contrary to the people's will during the election.
The February 2023 elections shall be requiring the services of youth corps members. Many of you will be engaged as presiding officers at the elections. You must remember that you shall be representing the youth during the assignment. Let it not be said of you that the youth that manned polling units for INEC during the election were not current or were corrupt, and that they assisted to mar popular will of the electorate.
The NYSC boss urged the corps members to be security conscious at all times and avoid acts that can endanger their lives. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
As part of efforts to strengthen the current security architecture in Gombe State, the state government has organized a 3-day security summit in collaboration with the Counter Fraud Center. At the opening ceremony of the program held at the Gombe State Government House on Tuesday, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Ghali Baba, said the summit is timely. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Gombe is one of the most peaceful states in the northeast of Nigeria, which has been ravaged by the activities of insurgents for over a decade. With the deteriorating security situation in northern Nigeria characterized by the activities of bandits and kidnappers, Gombe State government is not taking its internal security lightly.
Gombe State Peace and Security Summit was convened by this administration under my leadership in order to provide an opportunity for a carefully selected cohort of experts, security personnel, government officials, strategic stakeholders, and community leaders so as to aggregate and explore pressing internal security issues with a view to identifying community pathways of mitigating them for lasting peace and stability.
The Inspector General of Police said more should be done to enhance peace and security in the state.
Our 3-day Security and Peace Summit, which is being organized under the theme Mitigating Contemporary Security Challenges for Sustainable Development in Gombe State, is coming at a critical time when the Nigeria Police Force under my leadership is working towards deepening the engagement of the concept of community partnership in trying to prevent or control crime and criminality.
Counter Fraud Center, a consultancy firm which partnered the Gombe State government in organizing the summit, said state governments in the northeast must be vigilant to prevent bandits from infiltrating the region.
Improve community policing and increase peaceful coexistence, because it's the people that know the people that are causing the insecurity. So let it be everybody's business to ensure that we are secure. So we have to increase that. Of course, improve the criminal justice system. We have to dispense our justice faster, because most of the issues, especially when you look at the farmers' herders crisis and so many issues, has been caused by the slow dispensation of justice. So these are just the 3 things I would just like to advise.
Governor Yahya also unveiled 28 operational vehicles to security agencies in the state to enhance their operations. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
12 trucks of parboiled rice smuggled into the country have been intercepted by the Nigerian Customs Service. The Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Ikeja, on Tuesday said the consignment was smuggled in from neighboring Benin Republic. Acting Area Comptroller of the Anti-Smuggling Unit of the service, Hussein Ejibunu, said the duty-paid value of contraband was 537.5 million naira. He said the officials of the NCS also collected 24.5 million naira revenue through meticulous checks on import documents, in addition to the issuance of demand notices to importers and agents found to have underpaid their duties. The seizures made also included 34,725 litres of petrol, 39 bales of used clothes, and 225 used tyres, among others. On the foreign scene, the head of the Kenyan Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Wafula Chebukati, says tallying of results from the presidential and parliamentary elections is ongoing a day after millions voted for the successor to incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta. According to the IEBC's website, results had been collected from 95.6% of the 46,229 polling stations across the country's 47 counties as of Wednesday morning. Deputy President William Ruto, 55, is squaring up against former Prime Minister Raila Odinga as leading candidates in the race to replace Kenyatta, who is finishing up the second of 2 5-year terms. Reports say voting on Tuesday was largely peaceful, but the turnout was low, with only 30% of the registered 22 million voters showing up as of noon, which is 6 hours into the vote. To win the presidency, a candidate needs 50% of the vote in general, as well as 25% in at least 24 counties. At least 13 people died after shelling overnight in Ukraine's central Dnipropetrovsk, governor of the region said on Wednesday. He said more than 20 buildings were damaged in Marganets, a city across the Dnipro River from the Russian-captured nuclear power plant, where there have been other reports of shelling. The attack damaged a power line, leaving several thousands of people without electricity. The governor said the attack damaged a hostel, 2 schools, a concert hall, the main council building, and other administrative bases. However, Russia denies targeting civilians in what it calls its special military operation in Ukraine. And finally, in sports, CAF President Patrice Motsepe has launched Africa's Super League with prize money of $100 million. The competition will for the first time be held 1 year from now, with 24 teams participating. During the 44th CAF Ordinary General Assembly on August 10 in Arusha, Tanzania, Motsepe said each member association is set to benefit from the money accrued from the inaugural competition set to begin in 2023. The Super League will officially kick off in August 2023. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.